Hey, hello. Okay, we're live here. I'm going to talk about tribalism today. This is video 3 of 30 in my hopefully 30 day in a row video marathon. Tribalism is like really highly association with your in group. It's like I like my people. I like these people. I really identify with them. Of course, everybody has that. We don't know how, but people have it to different degrees, right? There are some genetic correlates to it. COMT is some kind of not a anyway. Um, Darn it, I forgot the other one, and I was just looking it up. But okay, so anyway, there are genes associated with it, and I think enzymes associated with it that help determine how a gene expresses itself, and that kind of thing. And so the point is, though, that and also it can be shaped by early life circumstances. COMT itself, I think, is the enzyme, but then I saw it referred to as a gene. So it shows you how much I know about genetics. It's associated with stress, and then it's also associated with the warrior versus worrier thing, and that has to do with whether it acts on changing certain. So anyway, I'm not even going to go there. What's the one that everybody well, anyway, so this is about relationships, but what's important is that tribalism is still an okay thing, and less tribalism is also an okay thing. um, we're going to talk about political parties or political groups, so you could see how it's not right to call someone stupid, crazy, or stubborn if they get into a political group that is going to go bonkers, believing lies, filtering out new information, having sort of mental barriers, emotional barriers, not being able to have empathy for certain people. For certain people, they consider foreign. Now, foreign can also be kind of a synonym for unusual or something we haven't seen much of. And guess what we haven't seen much of? Things that we push into the margins or people that we push into the margins, right? Our society has come from a white, hegemonic, colonializing Western culture. So that means everywhere we went, the white male is the norm for what a human being is. That's why the word man just used to mean human. And then they had to change it for various reasons because what do you call someone without a penis became very important to certain groups. Why don't we call them something different? Well, that those groups happen to be hegemonic, so our white, Western, Roman, UK, Dutch culture spread across the world because we took over the world and we gave them our TV sets and our movies, and all of our values are everywhere. And you won't see it as clearly everywhere, but it's here in the United States. So, what happens to those people who really hate seeing someone starting to say they're trans and they're going to get body parts changed, or they're going to go into sports, which is very Roman gladiator stuff? They're going to get really freaked out. It's not something that is processable without a lot of help. And of course, the tribalism is going to make it hard for them to want help. They're going to want to push it down. And it's going to be hard for other people to want to help them because we're tribal too. I'm saying they and we because I'm assuming stuff like I'm a hardcore leftist. And I think I'm talking about people that are more right wing, um, who've had lives where they lived in their families lived in the same town forever or whatever. So but okay, but they're not the only ones that have trouble. They're going to see something very unusual to them, something they think just doesn't fit at all in the world of reality. They're by and large, they're not being jerks intentionally. Being calling them a jerk is kind of not nice. I do it, but that's laziness, right? what happens to them is that internal switch where something's unfamiliar and they have to get rid of it because they've never needed that thing in the past. They never knew it existed. All this stuff that people on the right wing are fighting against have existed for a long time. But let's stop talking about them not welcoming in LGBTQ plus people. Let's stop talking about them for a second, making lives dangerous for women and men who can have babies by, killing off abortion rights or trying to batter abortion rights to death, and all the other things that they do to exclude certain things. Because I don't know to what degree, but people on the left are tribal also. We kind of have to be. Again, individuals range from high tribalism to low tribalism. But maybe leftists are low tribalism largely. But if you run around in like progressive, liberal, or leftist circles, you're going to notice that someone at some meeting you're at or some church you go to that's progressive or whatever, or some other gathering place in college or at work, you're going to notice that you're maybe having a drink with them. And some people, you're like, how could they be liberal like me? They're saying terrible things about this or terrible things about that. They're saying something like, well, they're poor because they don't work hard or something. And what's going on there is that, there's a range of high tribalism to low tribalism. So let's say we just say liberals are low tribalism. That's not true because I haven't looked this up at all. Let's just say I think we think we're low tribalism. I think we think are. And I think we have many good reasons to think we are. But there are the liberals that are high tribalism and low tribalism compared to the rest. And not only that, you've got people that are higher tribalism and don't meet this threshold that I'm artificially creating for being liberal, but they're going to be liberal too because there are just a multitude of traits and characteristics that people pick up during life. You've noticed some people change from believing this set of political things to believing this set of political things. I include religion as a political thing. It's always been a way to rule the world. In fact, religion is about powerful creatures that rule the world or make things happen in the world, right? So, including the monotheistic. So, we do our tribalism at the high tribalism right wing. We have trouble understanding how they couldn't see certain people as sincerely being what they say they are. It's part of the barrier you put up. So let's say you were in the savannah back in the old days when we were evolving a lot of our traits, I guess, and we had like tribe over here, tribe 100 miles away, tribe 20 miles away. You had to be very, very much endearing to your tribe and very careful about how far you wandered off outside of your boundaries in case you found someone from a different tribe, because different means dangerous. And also, it means confusing because we need to understand a culture if we're going to feel like we can manage to even get a cup of coffee in their freaking country, or if there's such a thing as coffee, if you're going to have some of those other alternative caffeine drinks, whatever. So, difference can feel dangerous. It's like somebody giving you a car that works completely differently on the inside. You pull levers and you push buttons and you scream certain pitches to make things happen. That's just going to freak you out. I'm probably freaking you out right now. So, what happens to people on the right wing who suddenly are confronted with a lot of things that they literally believe are a problem? We look at them and say they are the problem. Their ways are the problem. But I think more important to it is we look at them totally mystified and confounded at how they could not see what we see, how they could not see. No, I don't mean that. I'm joking. How they can fail to see what we see in humanity and not just humanity, but other creatures, the importance of creatures is they weren't created. They're created by nature. Okay, so I can call them creatures still. Um, by other organisms, including plants, animals, and protozoa, right? I'm guessing it's a lot more likely that someone who is sort of liberalistic, fewer um, barriers about inclusion are going to be more likely to be your like um, scientists, ecologists, ecological scientists, studying all kinds of animals just because they appreciate them, or studying a particular, like somebody might study a particular algae because they had thought it was fascinating, starting from the time they learned it existed, just like a kid that sees something really cool and just they love it for the rest of their life and they do that for a living, you know. Well, the same thing. They just like fall in love with algae. They like algae more than people, in particular algae more than any other algae. And they can tell you why if this algae died off, we would all die off, you know. So so I think what in summary I'm gonna say is um protozoa are better than people. And if you're not gonna get on the protozoa train, you suck. That's it. I'm turning this video off now because I'm just tired of you.